Hey fellas, I know it's been a little bit since I posted a video, but I've been working and just finished up on the large resin F102. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is. This kind of sounds weird. I got sent a kit and we're not really sure what it is. But I got it from a guy that's been collecting planes for about 25 years. And he has, I believe, 2 Blaine Electronics desk models from the 50s and 60s. And he's got another one on the way that he recently purchased. And he sent me this, and he believes this might be a resin recast of one of those Blaine Electronics kits. Now, Blaine Electronics, back in the 50s and 60s, used to make factory models for Convair. And they also made antennas and other equipment. So, you know, I'm not real familiar with them. I was able to get a little bit of information off the internet, but there's not much out there. But I think hardcore collectors know what a Blaine factory model is. But he's not quite sure if this is one of those or just a recast. So other than that, I don't know much about it. I know the Blaine factory models are extremely rare and extremely expensive. So. But anyway, he sent me this, wanted it restored. It's not something that I normally do. I typically build in plastic kits, and this isn't your typical plastic model kit. It was just a large chunk of resin and had pieces chipped out of it, and it was kind of a mess when I got it. And I ended up taking it and filling it with, filling the cracks, the large cracks, with my 2-part was it Magic Sculpt? It's kind of like Milliput. I used my CA glue and metallic pigment. I used Tamiya putty. I used Tester's putty. I used Mr. Surfacer 1000 and 500, and I pretty much threw every little bit of filler that I had at this thing. And I didn't put together like a build type video because it really wasn't a build. It was just kind of a fill and sand, and that's what I've been doing for the last week or so. But I did take a lot of pictures. So what I plan to do is just show you some pictures of what it looked like before and through the build process, or not the build process, but the restoration process, and then we'll go and take a look at what it looks like afterwards. And I think it turned out really cool. I think the owner's really going to be happy with it. So without further ado, let's get on with it. All right, here's the finished 102, and there's really not much to say about it other than I'm glad it's over with, and I'm really happy with the result. This is the first kind of plane that I've done like this. I've never dealt with like a full resin desk model, and I tell you what, it was a pain, but well worth the effort that I put into it. And there are a few little flaws here and there. I mean, I worked over a week filling and sanding and you know, using 6 different types of filler, and finally got it to where I was going to be happy with it. And I mean, there's still a couple little flaws. The thing is, I typically weather my airplanes, so doing this, making a real clean finish, you can't hide any flaws with the weathering, which I know some of us like to do. So every little flaw is noticeable, but you know, once I got the paint on it, some of those kind of went away. But I think it turned out pretty good, especially for what I started with. I used basically a whole jar of Mr. Surfacer 1000, spraying it and sanding it and just going through it. The letters on the back, I made a mask and painted those. The line, the stripe, and the stars and bars, those are decals. I did make the pitot tube basically out of brass tubing and I didn't get it in camera, out of brass tubing and a copper rod. And I drilled a hole, and I was kind of off on the nose. For some reason, I can't find the center to drill anywhere. And I'm kind of off on the back as well, but it's just is what it is. But that just fits in there. And probably don't even need glue. I did putty around the tip of the nose a little bit because my first hole was just really off. So I ended up putting some two-part putty in there and then re-drilling the hole. And then I've got a 3/8 inch hole in the back. Kind of got a run there. That's not good. But I got a 3/8 inch hole drilled in the back, about 2 inches. And the owner's going to stick an aluminum rod into his base, into the back of this, so it kind of sits up like this. But yeah, there it is. And when I had what I did with these is I ended up painting blue before I painted anything. Ended up painting the windows blue, and I cut out pieces of masking sticker to match the canopy glass. Put it on there, and when I lifted it up after I was done painting everything, this didn't really match up. For some reason I was off, so I ended up just masking that off and fixing that. But I think they're pretty close to the way they should be. But yeah, I think it's a really cool looking model. I don't know that I'll probably ever get to do another one, but it's basically just a restoration project, and you know, for what it is, I think it turned out really cool. Like I say, it's a big heavy chunk of resin. So that's it. I'll flash up a few pictures and see you on the next video.